Hello guys, and welcome back to my channel. I hope you've been happy, amazing, and positive as always. It feels like it's been years since I've said that, and I've missed you guys and I've missed filming, and it's just been a very intense time for me. I'm gonna let you guys know why I've been gone for so long, where I've been, what I've been busy doing. So grab a drink, grab a coffee, grab a tea, grab some snacks, and settle in with me, and I'm gonna catch you up. So where have I been? Goodness me. So half of the reason that I haven't been filming is because I haven't had a camera in a really long time. I think it's been a couple months now. It's been obviously really hard to, film. I mean, I refuse to use my phone. It's just not it. I just prefer sitting in front of a camera. It's so much more cleaner, so much better. So now that I finally bought one for myself, because I was borrowing one from a dear friend of mine, but she did need it back, so I went and got myself a new one just the other day, and I'm so happy that I finally have my own camera. I mean, granted, it has been a very busy year for me, so filming has been very difficult. Even if I did have a camera, it would have been very difficult for me to film consistently. YouTube and true crime is my passion. It's what gives that fire within me. It is a lot of hard work. It's very time consuming, but I don't mind because I love it. It's just what makes me happy. Thirdly, I actually went to England. I went there for a cousin's wedding, and it was beautiful. I was there for about 3 and a bit weeks. I miss it. I wish I could go back. I went back to my hometown. I went and visited London again. So my partner for the first time saw London in all its glory. We were there while it was the heat wave, and it was so hot. It was honestly, like, I live in Australia, I should be used to the heat, but over there, their houses are really designed to keep the heat in because of how cold it gets in the winter. It was just hot at all times. There's no air conditioning really in England because it never really got that hot there, but hello, global warming. But aside from that, it was a beautiful trip, a beautiful wedding, and I got to see my family again. And after being away for so long because of COVID, it was really nice to be back in my hometown, back in my home where I grew up, and seeing everyone again. It was fantastic. And being on a plane as well, like, it felt so weird to sit on a plane after so long. It almost felt like it was the first time I was doing it, so that was really refreshing. And also, I went on the London Eye for the first time. I've been to London a few times, but I never actually went on the London Eye, and I highly recommend, for those of you that want to go to London, you have to do the London Eye because the view up from the top is insane. Like, it is stunning, and you really get to see all of it from a different angle, so I completely recommend it. We did a tour bus also. We ate chips, those like classic English chips. It was freaking amazing. I crave it all the time. There's nothing like British chips. Honestly, if anyone says that their country has the best chips, they are lying. Go to London and then tell me about the chips. I got to visit some of my childhood friends as well, people that I went to school with. Thanks to social media these days, back then when I first moved here, I thought it would just be letters, and then you lose people's addresses and things like that. But now, because of Facebook, Instagram, people are able to still keep in touch with people from all over the world. And I never ever thought I would see that day when I first moved here back in, 2003, 2004. Also, I was a bridesmaid at one of my best friend's weddings. She is a friend from primary school. She's one of actually the first people I met when I moved to this country. It was just such a good time, wedding vibes. Even the lead up to weddings, especially Indian weddings, I find is just so fun. And there's so many different events on. So it's not just like the wedding and reception. There's like all these other events that you have throughout the week, and people close to the bride and groom would often, they would often take that whole week off just to celebrate and attend all of the events. It was just so fun, like learning all the dances, going to all practices, and seeing everyone all the time. It's over now, and I'm really sad. But I guess it's time to prepare for something else, which is my wedding, because I got engaged. Here's a close-up shot. Let me see if I can get it in all its glory. Here we go. This is the ring. There's like a hidden halo underneath. There's diamonds halfway around the band, and it's oval. It's still so surreal because, you know, we got engaged and literally 5 days later, I think it was, we were on a flight to go to England. So we didn't really get to enjoy the engagement because everything was so rushed. We had to pack, we had to get ready for our trip. So it's only really hit me once I got back that we are actually engaged. I feel like anyone that's gotten engaged would know that you never stop admiring your ring. It's like, what? I'm actually an adult now? Like, it's crazy. Our relationship is not perfect. No relationship is perfect. No matter what you see on Instagram, on social media, on YouTube, you see all these couples and they have seemingly perfect relationships, but they are not perfect. And that's the beauty of it. You know, you've got to have arguments, you've got to have little bickering moments because it brings you closer. It's so important. I feel like I'm the more stress head, I can be very abrupt. I can be very, like, you know, what's the word, like assertive, I guess. Because with me, I lack patience. I really, really do. Everyone knows this. Everyone who's my friend, a family member, Michael, like, they know I'm not a patient person. I try to be, but it just doesn't work out for me. I have very low tolerance. I feel like it's just gotten worse over the years. Every year that I get older, it just gets lower. We're like yin and yang, you know. He grounds me, he keeps me calm. He's like the calm to my storm, basically. So how did we get engaged? If you guys want to hear the story, I'll tell it to you. This was in early July. This was just a week before we left to go to England. My family and I left to go to England before Michael did. We're like, okay, let's go to dinner before I fly off. He said, you know, dress up like we're gonna go somewhere really nice. I'll pick you up. We have reservations. I think it was like 7:30. So I was like, cool. Wore a beautiful dress. He's like, pack a bag. I packed a bag and he picked me up that day. I noticed when he picked me up, he was very, very nervous. At that moment, I didn't pick up that it was nerves, but he was just acting a little strange. And I was like, okay, what's going on here? And that's when I sort of got the inkling that, you know, this may be the day. So I get in the car and he's got a screen where the navigation was on, and he didn't tell me which restaurant we were going to. He didn't tell me which hotel we were going to stay at. So I jump into his car while he puts my bag in the back of the boot. I get in the car and I see on the navigation that there was this one restaurant that we had already been to, and I felt a little bit disappointed because I was like, oh, we've already been there. Like, I would have loved to try out something new. I love new restaurants, but I was like, you know what, it was a nice restaurant. We loved it. We both really, really loved the food there. So I was like, okay, it's fine. At least we know that it's really, really good. And I noticed that when he got back in the car after putting my bag in the boot, he quickly removed the restaurant name from the nav. I was like, oh, I wasn't actually meant to see that. So I just pretended like I didn't see it. We start driving and we're just talking. It's normal at this point. I think he calmed down once he got into the car. So I was wondering where we were gonna stay. And I asked him, he's like, no, I'm not gonna tell you. I'm like, okay, cool, all good. I was like, let's just see where we end up. So he's driving, we go to the city, and he pulls up into Four Seasons Hotel, which is one of my favorite hotels that I've ever stayed at. We pull up and the valet guy takes the keys. One thing I noticed when the valet person like opened the door for me, he says, welcome back. And I'm like, welcome back? You remember me from like 4 years ago? I stayed here like years and years ago and you remember me? Like, this is amazing customer service if that's the case. I hadn't put two and two together at this point. I kind of just dismissed it because I was like, okay, maybe it was just one of those awkward comments that, you know, people make in the moment. Maybe he was just an awkward person. I just was not sure. So I got out and I start walking into the lobby. I look back and Michael is still out talking to the valet guy. So I wait inside the lobby for him, and he comes in and he starts walking straight to the bar area. The staff had our bags. I only had my handbag with me. So I was like, oh, don't we need to go and check in? And he pulls out the 2 cards and he's like, oh, I already did that. In my head, I thought he checked in with the valet people. I don't even know why I thought this, but I was like, oh, maybe that's why he was like chatting to them for so long, because he was checking in. So I didn't really think about it too much. So we go into the bar, we sit down, we order our drinks, and this is when I noticed that he's being nervous again. He's acting a little strange, and he had this blue bag that's, you know, those reusable bags that you get at supermarkets, those cooler bags. He had one of those, and I went to go like look what was in it, and he's like, no, don't look in there. And I'm like, okay. So we stayed at this bar for about 40 minutes. My drink was great. We had snacks. I was getting a little hungry at this point. Michael, around 40 minutes later, was like, all right, let's go up and check out the room. I was like, okay, cool. So I follow him. We go into the room and we get in front of the door. So he asked me to wait outside for a couple minutes while he goes and checks out the room. This is when it hits me. I'm like, okay, like, I think it's gonna happen. Like, I was like 99% sure it was gonna happen at this point. So he leaves me outside for about 2 to 3 minutes while he's inside, and I can hear like rummaging and like things going on, and I'm like, what is he doing? After about 2 to 3 minutes, he opens the door and I notice that he's tearing up a little bit, and that's when it hits you. I'm like, okay, it's gonna happen. Take in this moment, because I know for a lot of people those moments become a blur and then you kind of forget it. So I was like, okay, take it in, take it in. So he ushers me in, and there's little flower petals on the floor. I'm smiling, and then I start crying at this point. I was like, oh my goodness, it's happening. So I walk in, I'm trying to take in everything around me, and to the left was a table set up, and it had all of our memories in it, like shows that we had been to, you know, tickets for those, wristbands from like places that we've been to, theme parks, you know, all these different places that we had been to. Just so many different pieces of our memories. It was just like walking down memory lane, basically. And then as I kept walking, on the bed was like a love heart shape with the flower petals. And then to my right was cards that I've given him over the years. There was Christmas cards, the first Valentine's card I had given him, the first Christmas card I had given him, all these different like birthday cards. And as I kept walking, there was the altar, and that is where you know, there was like champagne set up, and his mom had made this beautiful frame with purple sort of flowers. Purple is my favorite color. And it had a couple of pictures of us on that frame. He got me to sit down, and there was like a little laptop set up, and he played this little slideshow of so many of our different pictures, funny pictures, silly pictures, pictures of our cat, our baby, a fur baby, all these beautiful words and like, you know, things that he basically couldn't say out loud because he was too emotional to, and he knew that he would be too emotional to speak. So he made this really thought out slideshow, and it had all of our songs on it, like all of our songs that we listened to together. And I was like bawling my eyes out at this point. I had to like blink away the tears to be able to see the slideshow. After the slideshow, he got me up and he said a couple of words to me, which obviously I will keep private. And then he got down on one knee and he asked me, he popped the question, and before he could even finish the question, I was like, yes. I just said yes straight away. This is the moment I had been waiting for so long. At that point, I hadn't even looked at the ring. I was just looking at him because he obviously had the ring open, the box open like that. And he put on the ring, and you know, it was only a few minutes after that I was like, wait, hold on, let me check out the ring. And it was exactly what I wanted. You know, it's so thoughtful because he got it from a business that is women owned, ethically sourced. He really thought of those little things that are quite important to me. Even just that is just just such a nice touch. Then we FaceTimed all of our family members and all of our close friends and let them know first. And then we went and had a beautiful dinner, and it was not at the restaurant that I had seen on the navigation. He actually did that to throw me off because he knows I pick up on everything. Surprises have been ruined because I just know, but he put that in there because he wanted to throw me off, and we were never actually going to go to that restaurant. He did a couple of other things that threw me off a little bit, where I was like, damn, it's not gonna happen today. He had me guessing quite a few times if it was really gonna happen. Basically, that's what I've been up to for the past, I don't know, 2 to 3 months that I've not filmed. I have not been not filming for no reason. I definitely have been very busy. So what's the future for this channel? What's gonna happen now? I'm definitely gonna be bringing out some more true crime videos for you guys. I can't promise that I'm going to be filming and posting every single week, but I'm going to try my best to be as consistent as possible. So please keep an eye out for in the next couple of weeks. I'll have a video out on true crime. It feels so good to be sitting here talking to you guys, catching you up. If it didn't feel right to just go back into true crime or whatever it is, I needed to let you guys know about what's been happening and what's been going on, and why I've been absent for so long. I did go through a period of just being in a rut. I just had a lot of anxiety flare up and all that sort of thing, and I've learned to not fight it and just let it happen, let it pass, and just be very good to myself during those times and be very mindful of what I need and what my body needs and what my mind needs. And I'm just starting to listen and be more in tune with that and not push myself so hard that I just run out and I deplete of all energy and my cup becomes completely empty. I'm trying to put myself first, which is extremely important. I'm so glad that you're all caught up with my life and you know what I've been up to, what's been happening. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And I've actually gained a whole bunch of new subscribers over the past couple of months. So if you guys don't know who I am, go check out some links in my bio in the description box. It will give you an idea of who I am and who you've subscribed to, if you care to know. All right, guys, thank you so much for watching. Please stay happy, please stay amazing, please stay positive, and I will definitely catch you very, very soon. Bye.